Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mensch. Today I'm going to talk about authentication. If you installed Arch Linux and you used my install scripts and you're using some window manager or the Qtile window manager, you will not have authentication unless you put one in. And what that is when you're doing stuff in the GUI, if you go to do something, open an app, or you go to do something that needs a password, a box comes up and it asks you for your password. You type in your password and it opens the app or it does what it's supposed to do. Now, when you're in a desktop environment like Cinnamon, GNOME, KDE, XFCE, and so forth, they all come with password authenticators built into them, and also they're running on boot up or auto start. Okay. But with window managers, you actually have to install one yourself and make it so that it runs on startup. Now, in my auto apps, if you downloaded my auto apps and you're using them and you're using my configurations, I don't have an authenticator in my auto apps. So if you just installed my auto app file, you won't have an authenticator unless you went in after the fact and put one in. Now, if you installed my apps and you're running Arch, when you go into the Cinnamon desktop, there will be an authenticator there because that's built into the Cinnamon desktop. But when you run Awesome Window Manager or the Qtile Window Manager, you won't have one. Like I said, unless you installed one after the fact yourself. And I don't use one because when I'm in Awesome Window Manager or Qtile Window Manager, if I need to do something that needs authentication, I just go into the terminal and I either use sudo or I switch into root. And then I type in the app or type in what I want to do and it does it. So when I was making my Ventoy videos, I got thinking about it. And I thought I should do a video about it. So today I'm going to show you how to put an authenticator into the Awesome Window Manager and the Qtile Window Manager. So let's get to it. So right now I'm in a virtual machine of Arch Linux with the Awesome Window Manager. And I'm just, like I usually do, just so you can see where I am, I'm in Arch Linux. Okay, so let's close that. So recently, and the thing that got me thinking about this was Ventoy. So I'm going to use Ventoy as my example, but this is not going to be another Ventoy video, so don't worry about that. So I have a USB thumb drive plugged in, and I'm going to open up PCman FM. And here it is. It's an 8 gig thumb drive. I'm going to click it on. I have one file in there, and it's a wallpaper because I use this for my other videos. I use this for my Ventoy videos. So since I did videos on Ventoy, it was on my mind, and Ventoy needs authentication. I thought I would use it as the example. Now, I don't have Ventoy in my menu here. I could put it in, but I don't have it in there. And I don't have it as a fast key, as a key binding. But of course, Awesome comes with a default menu that works fantastic, actually. So whenever you install a new app, it automatically goes into the Awesome menu bar at the top. So if I hit Mod key and hit P, it brings up my menu at the top. Type in Ventoy, and there it is right there. You can see it right here, okay? So if I hit Enter, see, now it's just spinning. My icon, my mouse is just spinning. It's not opening because I don't have authentication. I don't have an authenticator built into here. But like I showed in my previous video, if you're in the Cinnamon desktop, it will open up because Cinnamon comes with a built-in authenticator that is always started when you open Cinnamon. And the same thing happens with Qtile. If I go into Qtile, let's log out. Let's quit here. And I'm going to log into Qtile. Put my password in. Now in Qtile, if you're in default Qtile, there's a bar on the bottom. You could hit Mod key and R and it opens it up, but I changed it to be Mod key P because that's the way it is in Awesome. So if I do a mod key P and type in Ventoy GUI, it should open it, but it doesn't. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open up the terminal, and I'm going to make that a little larger. I'm going to type in sudo pacman s lx session. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to put my password in, and I'm going to install it. And that's done. Ooh, that really installed fast. Now I'm going to clear the screen, and I'm going to type, well, I'm going to go, let's do it this way. I'm going to cd into .config. I should spell it right. Qtile. I'm going to ls it. And you see there's an auto start file there. Now you're only going to have this if you downloaded my config files or if you made one yourself. And I'm going to vim into it because it doesn't come by default. This auto start file for Qtile doesn't come by default, so either using mine or you made your own. So I'm going to vim into auto start. And at the bottom here, I'm going to type in lx session. And I'm going to save the file. Now I'm going to cd out of there, and I'm going to cd into .config / awesome. And I'm going to ls it, and I'm going to go into rc lua. I'm going to vim into rc period lua, and now we're at the very top, and I'm going to go to the very bottom, and we have this right here. Now, if you're using a default Awesome Window Manager configuration file, you won't have line 744 in there. But if you're using mine, you will have line 744 in there, because at one time I did use LX Session, but I stopped using it a few years ago. And not because there's anything wrong with it, but just because I'm kind of a geek and I like doing things in the terminal. So like I said earlier in the video, when I'm in Awesome or Qtile, if I need authentication, I would just go into the terminal and use sudo or type su and switch into root. So there's nothing wrong with LX Session, but I stopped using it and it wasn't even in my system anymore. But I kept that line in there, 744, but I deactivated the line. So if you're using my awesome configuration file, you're going to have line 744 in there, and you won't have to type it out. All you got to do is delete those 2 dashes. Okay, and now the line is activated. You're going to save the file. Then we're going to quit out of here. We're going to quit out of here, and let's log back into Qtile. Okay, and now it's working. So now we can do mod key P, and we can type in Ventoy GUI. And there it comes up. My authenticator is working. So I'm going to type in my password. And now it's showing my 8 gig thumb drive, and I can install Ventoy on my thumb drive, but I'm not going to because this is not a Ventoy video. So I'm going to close that. And of course, this authenticator will work for anything that you need authentication on when you're in Qtile or the Awesome Window Manager. So now I'm going to get out of there. Let's quit out of there. And let's go into the Awesome Window Manager and see if it's working. I'm going to type in my password. And it's working. So I'm going to do mod key P. I'm going to type in Ventoy. And there it is right here. You can see it right here. But the mouse, you can't click it on with your mouse though, because this is awesome, right? So I'm going to hit enter, and the authenticator is working. So I'm going to put my password in, and now we can install Ventoy to my thumb drive. And of course, it's not about Ventoy. And of course, this authenticator will work for anything that you need authentication on in the Awesome Window Manager or Qtile. And that's it. In this video, I talked about authentication. and I explained the difference between using a desktop environment and a window manager. And I showed you how to install an authenticator for the Awesome Window Manager and for the Qtile Window Manager, and how to make it so it's running when you log into your system. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mensch.